Well, let's talk about affairs then. You're our sexpert.
Yeah.
What do you recommend someone do if they're caught up in an affair, or they have a partner who's caught in an affair?
Right. I think, affairs are so sneaky, and I think looking at the sites, a lot of people, it's like they think that women go into it with the intent to have an affair. So they've met this married man and they're going to gun down on him and like steal him away from his family. I'm not denying that there are probably women out there, people out there who are mean and vindictive and make it their purpose in life to ruin other people's lives. But I think for the majority it happens quite slowly and quite by surprise. I found myself in a situation about 2 years ago where I almost got involved with a married man, and it happens so slowly, it happens so quietly, and before you know it, you've created this little fantasy with another person.
Where everything's okay.
Where it's almost like it's just you guys and everything else is this weird fuzziness that doesn't really exist. And I think if you find yourself in that position as a woman who might be involved with another man or a married man, is to be very clear that it is a fantasy to begin with. It is absolutely a fantasy, and even if I say begin with, even if it moves into the physical realm, it is all fantasy, because until it can be brought into the reality of he gets divorced and he leaves his wife, it's playtime. And for the men who find themselves, or for the women who find themselves that they're married and they might be attracted to someone outside of the marriage, here's the most difficult thing to do. You sit down and you tell your partner, because that immediately breaks the fantasy. And if you can sit down and tell your partner, listen, I've met this woman at work or this guy at work, and it's quite intense for me, like I'm feeling quite strong feelings for her. Two things are going to happen. You're going to be able to strengthen your relationship. You're affirming the fact that this is your primary partner and that this is your best friend and you confide in this best friend. There will be hurt feelings, there will be jealousies to deal with, but you'll make your relationship stronger. If it breaks that relationship, if your other partner's then, well, you're not allowed to feel attraction for anyone, this is over, you're an idiot for telling me this, you shouldn't, this, that, or the next thing, that is saying exactly where the problem in your relationship lies. Because to me, affairs and cheating, anything that happens outside of that is a symptom of what's wrong in the relationship.
Yeah.
And, that's maybe not making space for people who are just not cut out for monogamy, people who are just serial cheaters.
Are there people who aren't cut out for monogamy?
Right, I think so, yeah. I think we have an incredibly narrow field of view on relationships. And I think the sooner we're able to accept that there are different relationship models, that there are different ways of interacting, that it is quite normal to feel attraction for other people, that it is quite normal to flirt with other people, and to discuss that with your partner and to find out where your boundaries lie. The sooner we'll have these discussions about he was cheating on me or there was another woman. We just have to get real about what's expected. We're living longer, we're getting married, there's a lot more information going about, our options are wider. If you've married your best friend, and this is the person for you, you should be able to weather just about everything. And that includes uncomfortable discussions like, I think I might be attracted to someone else. And that will immediately take it out of the fantasy realm and bring it back to ground zero. And then if your feelings for that other person still persist, well, then you can start thinking about it as maybe like actually really real feelings.
Why do you think women get involved with married men?
So for me, it was the possibility of it when it presented itself to me. It was never a conscious decision, so it just kind of melted into where we had this great rapport, and now we're speaking more and more and more and more and more and more, and now it might be developing into something. So I don't think it's not like a conscious decision.
Yeah.
If it goes into, okay, now we're going to have sex, suddenly that's a conscious decision. And I think that can happen on a drunken night out, when your inhibitions are low. For other women that I know, it is a conscious decision, and it's because they're not, there's a disconnect with their husbands, there's a disconnect with their partners. Some women that I've spoken to have really tried. They've tried to bring their husbands into their fantasy land, to explain their needs, to discuss what they want in bed, outside of it, and their husbands are just not listening.
I can imagine it's quite a hard conversation.
It's a very hard conversation, and the women, and it has to happen. And if it doesn't happen, I've had someone say to me, having an affair is easier than the conversation it will take to bring this to my husband. And that's just not a conversation about our marriage. That's a conversation about our kids, our finances, our house, our lives together, which is just so much more than our romantic interaction. And so for some people, it's just easier to have their needs fulfilled and met in a certain way, and to not rock the boat.
So that's kind of just what this is, the easy way out also.
Well, this is an easy way out of dealing with hurt feelings.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible way out. And I absolutely love these little hearts. She's got a heart over here, and he has a heart over the genitals.
Jeez.